Now that we have our VLOOKUP table built, let's use the VLOOKUP formula to create our letter grades. So we're going to go back to the Gradebook tab, and we're going to put our letter grades here in this column. So I'm going to start out by making sure that I have N3 selected, and we're going to go up here to the formula button, and there's a little triangle beside it. I'm going to click that to give us more functions. And I'm going to search for VLOOKUP, and you'll see that it can find where I've looked at it before. If you're looking at it for the first time, it'll probably only show up once. And when I click on it, it gives me a description, and it says looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table. So that was where we had our 0 and 70 and 75, and then returns a value in the same row from a column you specify. So we'll be specifying that we wanted to look at that next column over. Now if we need more details, because sometimes those definitions aren't that helpful, we can click on the More Help. And this shows that the VLOOKUP formula has 1, 2, 3 arguments plus an optional argument that we don't have to use. It defines every part of it. But what I really like is that it will give you an example where a VLOOKUP formula could be used, and gives you several uses and what their answer would be, so you kind of get a feel for it. I also like that you can actually highlight this area, copy and paste it into your own Excel, and just try the formula out. And at the bottom they have some related functions, so if you're looking for something that's similar but not exactly the same features, it can help you find other functions that work in a similar way. We're going to close the help for now. And it says to begin, double click a function in the list. So I'm going to double click, and now instead of having to type it out from scratch, it's going to let me just fill in the blanks. So first of all, it wants a lookup value. What are we looking up? Well, right now we're trying to look up 75.2 or whatever value you have in that table. So I'm going to click. That's what we're looking up. The next one is the table array. Now, since this is on another sheet, I could be really complicated and put quotations, letter grades, exclamation point, A1, colon, B5, but we named it to keep things simple. So here, I'm just going to put that name back in, grade chart. That way we don't have to worry about any of those $ references or any of those things we saw in that last class, Excel 102, when you deal with looking at different areas you're looking at. Our last one that we're going to fill out is the column index number, and it sounds really complicated, but if you remember from our definition, we're going to specify which column we want returned. When we look at that chart, the first column was the 0, 75, 70, 75. The other one was the FD, CBA. The second column had the information we wanted, so we're going to type 2. When we're happy, you'll notice that it shows the result already, but we're going to hit return or enter to put that formula in. We're going to close the help box there, the formula builder, and we have our letter C, and that is accurate. 75 is a C. Now hopefully you're already anticipating that we would want to copy this down, but you also know that if we just pull this down, we're going to mess up our formatting. So as usual, we're going to copy. We'll hold down Shift and click the last box in our student averages, and we will paste special under the edit menu, and we're going to choose formulas. We just want to copy the formula. Now we've got a little bit of a break there and we don't want to have an error, so we'll just take this last box, we will copy it, and then select the class average, and honestly here we could just regular paste because it's the same background color. Now one last little thing I'd like to do to this, just to keep it consistent, we're going to select it and center that so it looks nice and neat just like all the others. Alright, as usual we're going to save our work so that we don't lose anything, and I'll see you in the next video.